Another journal entry. It's 3:12 a.m. 6/14/2023. Again, like this is like a longer stream of the consciousness and stuff like that. Again, like it's kind of funny how things are unfolding. As again, like okay, let me just outline what happened from the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023 and all the way to now. Yeah, because again, like when I was speaking to actually the end of like I backed up. Let me back this up right now. Okay, the end of 2021 to the beginning of 2022 to all the way to the beginning of 2023 to now. So again, like at the end of 2021, I believe, right? That was when I started making those DA spaces, right? Yeah. And then I met, well, before that, I met Amira. Then afterwards, we made that Twitter space. Then afterwards, Amira went up to me and started talking to me about Susanna, like, yeah, who was working with Unholy and and went to that podcast, that lame podcast at that, yeah. And again, like, I had to laugh because this guy was threatening me in Twitter spaces, no less, as if I should know this guy, yeah. And, uh, and you wonder why I carry a knife because again, morons like that send idiots my way, like yeah, all the time. So again, when I was because again, quite literally, I've been harassed several times, even at the Starbucks downtown, that from Jackson Street, no less. Like yeah. So again, as all this was transpiring, again, like I had discussions with Amira, and again, she went up to me and was like, "Well, did you know that Josiana's interested in you?" Like, not really, nor do I really care because I really like Amira, and I only as a friend. Not only that, like, who cares how I feel about her one way or another, right? Because beyond all that, right? At the end of the day, she told me that like Josiah wanted an arranged marriage, right? Which could be a euphemism or like try to apply something indirectly, something like again, like because again, like I spoke with her, right? Then she's like, "Oh, I'm not really interested." Then immediately stopped talking to me afterwards, right? And again, she introduced me to Iman Biden and a few others. And like, okay, there's something weird about this, because as things progressed, right? Again, like he was part of the resistance network, right? And again, like a lot of other things that was going and transpiring of all this because there was a lot of character assassinations like Aaron and like a lot of other things that was going on between Tara. And again, like I didn't notice that what was going on with Yara because she doesn't engage in all that stuff. I wonder what is being said in general chat, no less. And again, like I wonder why you prohibit me from speaking in general chats or in Twitter spaces or in other Twitter spaces that would go and have me like again like be sound confident or sound minded because again of legal teams no less. So again, I had to laugh, and from there, like I had to leave around February because again, like I was taking off a heavy medication like Risperdal, right? And no one cared, no one bothered to ask about this. And again, like I confronted a racist Jewish social worker because again, what coincidentally this person came around and again was on purpose trying to trigger me one way or another. And I yelled at this person in front of the building, no less. And she could cry me a Zionist river that would fill the Suez Canal. I kid you not, Miss Campbell, or whatever your name is. Like again, go ahead, Crunchy Sock William. Say that's a hate crime. Go ahead, because again, what you did was far worse. Because not only did you prohibit uh, afterwards, of course, disable a person from the medication, but you try to take the government subsidy and a lot of other things as well. Because again, from let's say, I believe February of 2022 to all the way to May, you were complaining about me for XYZ reasons, and I was tweeting and mind my own business, right? And again, like around May, you were saying something along the lines of like, "Oh, I can't be your social worker anymore because you're a bad person, or it became too dangerous, or whatever." And again, like, I spoke with Kathy, the person who was heading thresholds again at the time. I think again I don't know the situations and I don't care. I can't wait because again I just can get a Freedom of Information Act one way or another, and also it's not like you can hide your emails. And again, it would be funny if you try to burn through those, right? Yeah. And again, it's funny to me nonetheless because again, this is becoming more of a Michael Clayton moment, right? where I only need to get a lawyer, right? Anyway, again, like I read your paperwork, and it says like I was harassing you, and there was a physical altercation, nonetheless. And you try to say I'm not of sound mind, right? And that I'm crazy, nonetheless. That's why Maria refuses to speak to me out in the open to criminate me and say like, "Oh, he's just out of his mind," right? In one way or another, as an inside joke, right? And you didn't think I would make wise and investments and like invest in my future, right? Like food and like equipment that would help me with my podcast, and now that the documentary and build my portfolio when it comes to my photography, regardless if it's amateur or not, and my art, whether it be crappy or not, right? Because again, you don't care for my language and the uses my of my insults. And again, it's not like I'm dropping racial epithets here and there, regardless, right? But either way, he's going to use it against me in the court of law, right? So again, like as all this is being transpired, again, it's not too much of a coincidence between the DSA spaces, right? And what happened between me and Mira Duzan, then what happened between me and Thresholds and those social workers, and from me from Thresholds to Trilogy, and from me with the older woman, right? Because it's just very nicely put down in paper, right? Because again, you didn't expect me to survive. Now that, why did my debit card was given to me and the credit card was taken away, and I have thus nothing but the numbers, right? Because you don't want me to get any more medical marijuana, right? Because again, it helps with my trauma one way or another, right? And you want me to go buy recreational because you can't go and pick it up on the state, no less, right? It's kind of pathetic, even though I get emails. Because again, like you don't want to prove one way or another that you're monitoring my weed intake. Yeah, right. So again, this shit is funny nonetheless, and you didn't expect me to go and record this because you didn't expect this $1,000 laptop, and again this terabyte, and now that all the memory that in the world that I bought, right? And now that you didn't care for like for the videos that I put whenever I went to cricket, right? And made the videos where I was being harassed because I was trying to pay my bill, and you're trying to go have a manic episode, make me go back and forth and have like, well, survival or fight flight mode, because again, what? Because you're trying to go build a legal case. And what's been going in the past 6 months? Like, okay, what happened before the 6 months? What happened to the 2.5 years that was with thresholds, right? And again, this is all within the legal proceedings, right? Or what about beforehand when I was at Lydia, right? Or what about I was beforehand when I was with my parents, right? As if that was a walk in the park, right? Either way. Because again, it's not like I trust my parents, because again, my mother called me, right, and told me like we need to go have a sit down with thresholds, as if I want to go and have a forced hospitalization and hear this person yell at me one way or another, because again, you don't want me to self-advocate. Know that you never stuck up for me. Because go up to my mother, Fatma Ismatin, and go up to any of my family members, asking just one question. Name me one nice thing that this person has done, and now that give me one compliment. They would rather die and give me a compliment. I kid you not. And I never did anything bad to these people. It's funny that way. And now that you want me to go have these legal proceedings, go ask Omar Shaker, who works for the City Hall as a lawyer, to give me one compliment, let alone why you never stuck up for me. Or remember the last time we ever saw up front to each other, and the innuendo they was replying, right? So this is funny nonetheless, because this is the biggest anti-bullying campaign ever, and not only that, I'm the biggest free speech and also literacy advocate you ever met. I will ask him, how many books have you read? How many years you worked at the library, nonetheless, right? All that cliche stuff, right? It's kind of pathetic. And you're saying that I'm not of sound mind. That's why you don't want me to go at Harold Washington. Who gets kicked out and banned at Harold Washington? There are homeless people that go there and do crazy stuff like. And I don't say that lightly, because as a disabled activist, like anybody could see that, right? Yeah. And what happened at the Park Center, right? When I go and picked up that book, nonetheless, right? It's not like I can go get it right now on the internet, right? It's not like I'm a pirate, all right? Like I don't mind sharing stuff, right? It's not like you didn't try to stop my mutual aid, right? One way or another, right? Or trying to stop me from what? Yeah, because you want me to go talk to who, and you want me to go in the what extort who and say whatever narrative, right, for your legal team, right? So good luck. It's 3:22 a.m., 6/14/2023. I will continue this train of thought. Yeah, into stream of consciousness.